The champions are in the groove. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, all held this weekend. The Gunners lost their captain today. We'll hear from Arsene Wenger. No home win in the Premier League so far. Manchester City will look to put that right against the new boys Swansea this evening. Two teams with differing ambitions. Gary Neville, can you see anything else but a home win tonight?
I can't. I fancy City strongly to win the game. I mean, I'm looking forward to Swansea, the way in which they came up last year. You know, the way in which they played, fantastic football. Can they replicate that in the Premier League? But I think Manchester City will be too strong for them in the end.
Gary, the big news today, hearing about Fabregas, who's joined Barcelona. Do you fear now for Arsenal?
No, I don't fear for Arsenal. I think big players do leave clubs at times. It happens through history. And, you know, what an opportunity for Aaron Ramsey or other young players in the Arsenal squad. He won't panic, Arsene Wenger. Absolutely sure about that. It was inevitable that Fabregas was going to leave. It's been on the cards for 12 months, and I don't think we should be surprised today.
Well, the former Arsenal striker Alan Smith is part of our commentary team at the Etihad Stadium this evening. Alan, what did you make of what Arsene Wenger had to say? And do you agree with him when he says he deserves more respect?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's a man of huge experience as a manager, and I think Fabregas said it. He owes so much of his career and where he is today down to Arsene Wenger. So I think from the Arsenal fans' point of view, Ed, it's the way it's rolled on. It's been a painful soap opera, and they would have wanted this to be concluded before the big kick-off, you know, a week or so before, so that Arsenal could have gone out there and had a replacement ready for the first weekend of the season. But that's not been the case. Obviously, Arsenal want to get the most money that they possibly can. I mean, what they have lost, Ed, is a world-class player. There's no doubt about that. But they haven't lost a leader. They haven't lost a genuine captain in the true sense of the word. But they've certainly lost a great talent on the pitch. But all eyes now on Arsene, and OK, you've got the money, what do you do with it? And I think the next 2 weeks are vital, some of the most important days in his Arsenal career. What does he do with that money? What kind of players does he buy?
Answer that question. What would you like him to do?
I'd like to see him get a centre-half, and he says you can't just go into a supermarket and pick them off shelves, but there were one or two out there. Phil Jagielka, he has been in for once or twice. Big fan of Gary Cahill. You know, we saw that goal he got at QPR at the weekend, but he's a proper defender, a dominant one, and I wouldn't be averse to see Gary come into the Emirates, and I think he's available for the right price. Central midfielder as well. You know, they are short, and they're going to be short in the next few weeks if Son gets banned. Now they've lost Fabregas and Nasri, we think, probably end up here. So I think he needs a central midfielder as well, a strong one.
Alan, back with you later on for the game. Gary, Alan called it a soap opera. Are there any similarities with this situation to what happened with Ronaldo at Manchester United, do you think?
A little bit. I mean, it went on for 12 months. I think, you know, Cristiano left at the end of the season. It didn't go into the pre-season. I think that's the point that Alan makes there. But when a player wants to leave and he's set his heart on leaving, it's very difficult to keep him. I think there's a little bit of a win-win situation today. Arsenal get £35 million for a player. The player goes home to where he wants to be. And to be honest with you, Arsenal stole him off Barcelona for less than £1 million. So they made a £34 million profit and got 6 great years service out of him. So I think everybody wins in certain ways. I know Arsenal fans may not see it that way, but that's the way I would look at it.
Pleased to say Roberto Mancini is waiting to speak to us at the Etihad Stadium. Roberto, thank you for taking the time to speak to us ahead of the kick-off. I imagine it's been a frustrating weekend watching, and you're eager to get underway, aren't you?
Yeah. I think that we play like last team tonight, but we are happy to start a new season.
How close was Sergio Aguero to getting a start tonight?
Aguero is not ready. He's not 100% at the moment because he finished Copa America only 25 days ago. He needs to find a good form, but maybe during the game it's possible that he came on.
And fans, I'm sure, are desperate to see him. Could we see him feature at some point this evening, Aguero?
Yeah, but it's possible. It's possible. Depends on the game.
OK, we'll have to wait and see on that one. It's a big night for Swansea, their Premier League debut. How much do you know about them, Roberto?
I know them very well because I followed this team last year. I know that will be a difficult game for us, tough game, because they play football very well. It's the first game this year for them in Premier League against us. It's the match of the year for me. For this, it's a tough game.
We wish you well. Good luck. Thanks for speaking to us. Hope to speak to you a little bit later on. Back to the Etihad Stadium to speak to the Swansea manager, Brendan Rodgers. How you must be feeling now. How exciting to be getting underway in the Premier League, Brendan.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Obviously, we've been watching all the games over the course of the weekend, so it's a real sense of excitement. We're really looking forward to the game tonight.
You've had quite a summer. Am I right in saying you found out when you were at the foot of Kilimanjaro that Manchester City would be your first game? Is that right? And secondly, what do you and the players make of the stadium?
I think first of all, I'd got to the. It was Cammy that actually got it up on his phone. Obviously, the fixture list. So that was interesting. But we know every game at this level is going to be a very difficult game, and obviously tonight will be no different. And of course, I've been here before, so it's a wonderful stadium. Like as I said, all the modern stadiums now in the Premier League.
I'm sure you've been reading all about the compliments about the style that you went up with last season. How do you go about it in the Premier League? Can you play the same way, Brendan?
We will look to do, the philosophy is still very much the same. We like to pass and dominate the game with the ball, but we obviously respect and understand that it's a much bigger level. But the ideology has to be the same. There's no point in us, as I said, we had a terrific season last year with the ball and without the ball to gain the promotion. So no, there won't be too many changes. But we obviously got to pay attention that when you're defending the players of the quality now at this level can really hurt you. So like I say, but it's very important that we stick to our own identity.
Brendan, Gary Neville, you okay?
Hi, Gary.
Yeah. How much are you players looking for? How much are you players looking forward to this, Brendan?
Just been a real excitement, Gary. Obviously, as you can imagine, some of these guys they've played in League Two. Boys like Alan Tate have been at Manchester United as kids and have loved the club, but they had to move on to have careers elsewhere, and he's done all the ugly bits right the way through from League 2, League 1, and obviously the Championship, and starts tonight in the Premier League. So as you can imagine, there's always that wee bit of nervousness until you get the first kick of the ball, and obviously I think until we get the first win, there's always going to be that wee bit of apprehension. But it's obviously my job to try and ensure the players are relaxed but focused and go and enjoy the experience, which is, as I said, it's the most competitive league in the world, so it should be a fantastic experience.
Brendan, I tried to find out for you from Roberto Mancini if Sergio Aguero might come on a little bit later on. Everyone's dying to see him. I imagine you're not.
No, he has a talent, there's no doubt about that, but he's on the bench and hopefully he ends up staying there. But if he comes on, it means we might be doing okay. So, but no, listen, these are a club here that have got, they're very much a superpower now in terms of the finances of what they got. But I was here, over a season ago, talking to the club, and so I understand the project that's going on as well. And like I say, they try to build something special here. So, but as I said, they'll be challenging, look to be challenging for obviously the biggest prizes in European football, and obviously tonight they start on that journey.
Fantastic night for your football club. Good luck, Brendan.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Gary.
What a performance that was from Manchester City. We've got lots more thoughts from Gary on the team, on Aguero in a couple of minutes. Happy fans drifting out, home fans that is, drifting out of the Etihad Stadium, having seen their team beat Swansea by 4-0. Swansea, far from disgrace though. What fun they're going to have during the season. What an entertaining side they are to watch. They've come up against a very good side tonight. Thanks to all of you who got involved in the Man of the Match award. Sergio Aguero made a late run, as you can imagine. Now, Vorm, the goalkeeper, showed plenty of vava. Vorm made 11 saves tonight, more than any goalkeeper in the whole of last season. Still conceded 4, which we'll look back on shortly. He came second. David Silva, the winner of the Man of the Match, with 38% of your votes. What a combination they are going to be, David Silva and Sergio Aguero. We'll look back on the action with Gary in just a moment. Before that, let's hear from the goalkeeper and new Manchester City captain, there with Andy Burton.
OK, boys, congratulations, a winning start. We'll talk about the result and the performance in a minute, but Sergio Aguero, discuss.
He's decent, isn't he?
He's not bad.
He's not bad. No, he's come in, 38 million is a big price tag, and 38 million well spent. We've not really seen much of him. The manager's kept him quite well protected. Obviously, he's had a big summer. We've got the likes of Sergio coming in, and David Silva. He's got to get a mention as well in that decent catchphrase.
Vinny, what have you made of what you've seen of Sergio Aguero in training, and if this is what he can do when he's supposedly tired after a busy summer, imagine what he's going to be like when he's full strength.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely coming with a surprise, I would say. It's got great potential, and the most important for me is that also you saw some moments of him, defending and being hard on the man, and for us, for the team, for the season is going to be very important. And also the other strikers, Eddie, and everybody's put in a good performance today. Really happy.
You guys had such a good defence last season as well. You're kind of like the unsung heroes, aren't you? Those boys are going to get all of the headlines going forward, and you boys just have to keep doing your job. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, that's our job, no problem. If they keep doing what they're doing, there's no reason why we should change anything. We're happy to work hard for the team, and if it keeps going like this, at some stage we're going to get a mention. But if we don't, it's not important.
In the first half, first 15 minutes, Swansea had 70% possession. They had a huge amount through the first half as a whole. What did you do to wrestle the control in the game back your way?
No, we knew. Listen, we had the same problem last season with Blackpool coming here. Some teams of the Championship are just incredibly good at playing football, but we knew that just if we kept to our game and towards the end of the game, we was going to get enough chances to win the game. And the most important for us is that we didn't give any chances. And sometimes we don't have all the possession. That's no problem.
Joe, final thought to you. You've seen all of these changes over the time here at City that you've been here. You love it. You bleed this club. How much more excited are you about what you could achieve this season compared to 12 months ago?
It's an exciting start. I think we had a great team last year, and I think towards at the end of the season we got to know each other, and I think there's a great bond in this group, and Sergio's felt it, Gail's coming, Stefan's coming, all the new signings are feeling the love, and I think you can see that out there. We realised that, like you said, with Vinny said, Swansea had 70%, but we had a brick wall behind them. As soon as we got a chance, we broke, and we were quick, and we were a team, and we beat them.
Well done today. The Sky Sports viewers have given the Barclays Man of the Match award to David Silva. Will you pass that on? Maybe let Aguero have a sip.
I'm his spokesman, I'll take it.
Cheers, boys. Thank you.
No worries. Nice.
From two happy City players to, I imagine, a happy Manchester City manager, Roberto Mancini, waiting to speak to us. Roberto, that was some performance. You must be delighted.
Yes, I'm delighted after this performance. But I think that in the first half, Swansea played very well, and for 20 minutes we had some problems. After, I think that we started to play, we pressed them, and we had many chances to score. But in the end, I'm very happy.
Roberto, at the start of this evening's Monday Night Football, you said to me, Sergio Aguero is tired. He didn't look tired to me.
He's not tired. I think that he needs to recover because he finished Copa America 3 weeks ago. But in the last week, he worked with the team. But I think that he needs another 2 or 3 weeks to be 100%. Maybe.
He's a special talent, though, isn't he?
Yeah. For me, he's a fantastic striker. He's a young. I think that for us, he will be a fantastic player in the future.
Roberto, Gary Neville, I bet I never thought you'd be interviewed by me.
No, never. But it's okay.
You must be really excited about Sergio Aguero, and the link play that they showed between David Silva and him was really exceptional tonight.
Yeah, but they play the same languages. I think that they are both fantastic players. They play football very, very well. But we played only the first match. I think that the season will be very long, but it was really important to start the season like this.
And Edin Dzeko, he looks a lot sharper. He looked really hungry tonight and played really well in the match.
Yeah. But Dzeko is a different player from Sergio. But it's important for him that he scored the first goal because it's after Charity Shield where he scored the important goal. For him, it's really important to score, but he worked for the team in the first half. He had the true first chance to score. I'm happy also for Eddie because I think that this year, after 6 months, last year, this year could be an important player.
Thanks for your time, Roberto. Congratulations on tonight's performance.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done,
you very
Roberto.
much.
Manchester City won it by 4-0. In the end, a tough baptism for Swansea and their manager, who's with Andy Burton.
Brendan, on paper it doesn't look great, but anyone who saw that performance will see many positives, will they not, from what you managed to do at stages in this game today?
No, absolutely. I said to the players, I was very, very proud of them tonight because I thought up until the first hour we were fantastic. Good possession of the ball and we looked like we could create something. And we're obviously disappointed with the 2 quick goals. And obviously when you concede goals like we did against a terrific team, like I said, then it's obviously obviously difficult, but very, very proud of the club and the team tonight.
First 15 minutes, you had 70% possession. You had a large share of it in the first half as a whole. Is the key to what you will achieve this season managing to convert that possession into goals?
Yeah, it was exactly the same for us last year. You know, we look to control games, which, you know, when you come to a club like this here, you know, the richest club in the world with that quality of players, then it's, you know, it's a fantastic achievement. So but we know there's cutting edge in our team, and you've seen glimpses of that tonight. But obviously, once you're 2-0 down, then like we were, then obviously it made it difficult. But I thought we responded, we kept going, which was very, very important. Got a fantastic spirit in the group, and obviously tonight there wasn't the ideal result, but there was many, many positives from it.
Have you got to have a little look at what Blackpool did last year? They came into this league, they tried to play their football. It worked up until a point, but there were other points where people said maybe they should have been a bit more conservative. Do you look at that and try and take a little bit of what they did and learn from that?
Not really. No, I think it's one, if you look and assess and analyse the goals, we're disappointed with the first 2 goals. You know, they were just basic mistakes. There was nothing really. It wasn't our play. It was, you know, it was obviously Micah Richards has got in behind and we crossed the ball and we can defend it better. And I think the only obviously goal, which was a real quality, was the fourth goal. It was a fantastic strike by Aguero and showed his ability to be a world-class player. So no, I think there's things that we'll analyse and we'll look, but we won't be downhearted. We'll continue to play the way we play, and we know that, you know, we're not going to come up against this type of opponent every week.
Great stuff. Thanks, Brendan.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Gary, they're going to be entertaining to watch, Swansea. What did you make of them tonight?
It was a tough night for them. I think they'll be happy to get back in front of the home fans at the weekend against Wigan. It's a big game for them now. They found it tough. I think first half they did okay in the game. They couldn't really get out and leave a mark on Manchester City, but they stayed in the game. The keeper kept them in it, but I think they found it really tough second half. You know, City pounded them and really pushed them back and, you know, made it really difficult. So
that, just to mention that game against Wigan at the weekend, is that in terms of momentum? They need to get something on the board?
It's just getting in front of the home fans, getting somewhere comfortable for them. These players, especially after tonight, will want to get out again as quickly as possible. And Wigan, you know, tough game for them, but it'll be a game they think they can win, and certainly in front of the home fans.
Let's have another early look at the table. After the first Premier League weekend, Everton and Tottenham didn't play. Of course, Swansea. You talked about the game at Wigan at the weekend. This is their next 6. Some big games in the next few weeks, Gary.
There are, but those next 2 are key. You know, Wigan and Sunderland at home, they're absolutely key for Swansea. They need to get off the, you know, get on the points tally, you know, get some points on the table, because if they don't in those games, you look at Arsenal away, Chelsea away, they're really difficult games. So these next 2 games are crucial for Brendan Rodgers, and he looked exhausted at the end there. I'm sure, you know, he's been waiting for this all summer. You know, he'll need to get back out there again quickly and get his team back out there.
In fact, they seem to have the whole of Wales behind them from what we saw tonight. Flags everywhere, weren't they? That's not going to do them any harm, is it?
No, I mean, they'll have a passionate support. We talked about Stoke support yesterday, in which the atmospheres that they create, and I'm sure Swansea will be exactly the same.
Just want to pick out another couple of sides, particularly after what's happened today. We talked about Cesc Fabregas earlier today. For Arsenal, they've got a massive night tomorrow night in the Champions League, and then look what they've got ahead of them at the weekend. You're going to watch the Liverpool game with us for Sky, aren't you, as well?
They've got some huge matches coming early in the season. I'm sure Arsene Wenger would have wanted probably quite a slow start, but they've not got that. You know, Champions League's enormous for them as a football club. And they've got a big game against Liverpool on Saturday and Manchester United coming up the week after. It is not an easy start for Arsene Wenger.
And you talked earlier, almost defending Arsene Wenger. Are you surprised that he hasn't got those signings in store? He might still do them in August, that he hasn't got them in place. Losing Fabregas, he might use Nasri. When you look at the fixtures and the tough start they're having to the season.
Well, he's going to have to act quickly if he's going to bring players. I'm sure he'd like to bring players in, but there almost seems to be a stalemate in the transfer market. Players haven't been, you know, readily available for these top clubs. I'm sure everybody would like to go and sign a great midfield player or a great forward, but the value isn't there at the moment. It's such inflated prices, and we know Arsene Wenger, he will not go and panic and spend all that money if it's not right.
But the Arsenal fans will say he's known for a long time he was going to lose Fabregas. He should have known for a long time the strength he needed in his side, centre-half, possibly in midfield as well. Their argument is, why hasn't he done that already?
Well, I'm sure he's identified players, but to go and spend the money before you've actually got it in, you know, that's dangerous, particularly, you know, a club where, you know, you don't know if you've got the money. So I think from Arsenal's perspective, you know, look, he's got 2 weeks to try and do something. It's not a great deal of time. You know, people will know he's desperate to sign, but he will not panic. He'll not go and take players for the sake of taking them.
Thought Manchester's had the top 2 for a second. Let's not forget Bolton, though. Manchester United, let's see what they've got ahead of them. Injuries are concerned. Are you worried about it, particularly for the senior players?
Well, you can't talk about having a big squad of 24 players and then get 2 or 3 players injured and then think that, you know, you've got a problem. I think that's the reason that certainly the big clubs, the big four, they expect these moments during the season where you get injuries in one position. They've all come defensively. You know, Rafael, Vidic, Ferdinand, all at once. But they've got so much strength in depth that I don't think they'll be overly panicked by that. And there is international coming up where they've got 2 weeks, a double header where they've got time to recover.
And this one is the Monday Night Football next week. Jamie Redknapp is coming to that. We've got the head-to-head as well. Sorry, we didn't mean to get that. Jamie Redknapp's going to be in the studio as well. It's going to be a partisan Monday Night Football. That is for sure. Let's have a quick look at what City have got ahead of them. They're going to the game against Bolton on the Super Sunday in Great Heart, Gary.
Absolutely, and Bolton as well will be in Great Heart. That'll be a real tough game for Manchester City, but Bolton, you know, it's always a difficult place to go. There's no doubt about that. And another test for Manchester City. Aguero will have seen playing at, you know, at home tonight, what it's like in the Premier League, but Bolton away is a completely different story.
How difficult was it with the first weekend of the season? Unfortunate for Tottenham and Everton, the game was postponed. I imagine you've spoken to Phil. It must be difficult to sit and watch the Premier League start, isn't it? Absolutely,
because you work all pre-season for that opening weekend and not to be part of it, and particularly for the regions as well, was difficult. But you know, they've got it still to look forward to. They'll have plenty of time to make up for it. 10 months to go.
10 months to go indeed. Final look at our leaders, Bolton, who've had a brilliant weekend. We've seen that they've got City next, and they've got a tough run of fixtures, haven't they, Owen Coyle's side?
Wow, who give him the start? Owen Coyle. Manchester City, Liverpool, Manchester United, Norwich, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Down here as well, Arsenal and Chelsea.
5 huge games in the first 6. But you know something? They're getting them out of the way. They're looking good form. They've got the confidence from the QPR victory. Why not? I mean, you have to play them at some point in the season.
Opening weekend then, Gary, let's sum it up. What have we learned this weekend?
The Monday Night Football's tough for Gary Neville. I feel absolutely knackered.
Does it feel like at West Brom last season?
Yeah, I feel worse than I did at West Brom last season.
Hey, listen, don't you go and retire in the morning, though, that's for sure. We want you back.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I think that Premier League, I think it started off a little bit slowly. 60, 70 minutes, teams have faded a little bit, but there's been enough there to show that, you know, in the coming weeks we'll have some exciting football.
Away from Manchester City, away from Aguero, who's impressed you?
I think Manchester United impressed me in the first 30 minutes yesterday. Bolton away at QPR looked really strong. You know, that's probably it. There hasn't been a great deal of spectacular performances this weekend, but you expect that. We're still in pre-season in some ways. Teams are still getting into the stride. And Manchester City tonight, in that last half an hour, particularly Aguero, Silva, you know, they look really top players, and you know, Manchester City are going to be dangerous this year.
Individuals impressed you?
I think the 2 I mentioned at the end. You know, Ashley Young as well. Thought he was fantastic. You know, no doubt about that. Suarez created opportunities for Liverpool. They're probably the most exciting players of the weekend, and you know, got a lot to look forward to with all these top players we have in this league.
And the transfer window is still open. Do you think Manchester United and Sir Alex Ferguson might still spend over the next couple of weeks?
He may do. I think, you know, he looked at the midfield position in particular over this last few weeks, but the players, like I say, it seems to be a bit of a stalemate. There doesn't seem to be anybody moving. The top clubs want to hang on to their best players, and that's what I think all, you know, Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, I think they all like to strengthen in those forward and attacking areas, but the players just aren't available.
You can relax. Gary, thanks very much indeed. We will see you next, probably at the weekend. Your first Monday Night Football.